could you make it work and make your relationship go the distance? We're starting things off with another edition of our Valentine's Day series.
You know, many couples will be making dinner reservations, spending a quiet romantic evening together on Valentine's Day, but that may not be so easy for those of you who are in a long-distance relationship.
Yeah, long-distance relationship. There's a website out there for it that estimates there are about 7 million, I can't believe this, 7 million long-distance couples right here in the U.S., some even right here in our newsroom.
Our Kelly Cresswell talked with a reporter at the Politico and her boyfriend about the ups and downs of a long-distance relationship and what they can do on this Valentine's Day if they're not together.
Whether it's a career choice or academics that forces a couple to live apart, many people are involved in long-distance relationships. And sometimes the farther apart you and your loved one are, the harder it can be to make it work. Couples like Vicky and Dave admit it can get frustrating, but they seem to find their way around it.
As long as we're able to get those weekends in, it hasn't been too much, you know, of a heartbreak situation. But, you know, there are times when a lot of the time you just would rather have that person there.
There's only so much you can do over the phone. Sometimes you just want to come back and have that person there in the apartment to curl up and watch TV with them.
For long-distance couples like Vicky and Dave, spending time with each other can get complicated, especially when Vicky lives here in Washington, D.C., and Dave is 116 miles away at law school in Charlottesville.
You know, when I go down, I'm able to take the train or the bus because I don't have a car in D.C. and he's able to drive up here, and it's not so far that it doesn't work.
Vicky and Dave have been together for more than a year now, and they have learned the art of keeping the love alive while physically being miles away.
You get that moment of, you know, Friday night when I get up there, seeing her for the first time. I feel like that's one kind of weird benefit that couples that live together wouldn't necessarily have if they see each other every day.
One time he painted my whole apartment for me, and another, you know, he's also, I'll come home and he's cooked dinner, so those sorts of things are really nice.
With Valentine's Day coming up, Dave plans on driving up to visit. Both admitted they have no idea what to get each other, but in a long-distance relationship, that doesn't really seem to be their priority.
You really don't worry about the gifts so much, but it'll be nice to be there with her.
Relationship counselor Donna Fortney says for those long-distance couples who aren't lucky enough to be with each other on the 14th, they need to communicate with their partner.
So if you can talk about that before Valentine's Day, and let your partner know that you really want to be with them and it's not possible, or I don't have the money this year. Could we plan something?
Fortney recommends making a list of needs and wants from each other, and it doesn't have to be a gift. It could be doing or saying something nice more often, and not just on Valentine's Day.
We get so hung up on the day, the birthday, the Valentine's Day, that we forget that it's about the relationship.
This is Kelly Cresswell for Let's Talk Live.
So there, you just saw her giving some advice, and now we have her live in the studio. Relationship counselor Donna Fortney is here with us, and Donna, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today.
This is a fascinating thing. I think more and more people, given the fact that our society is so mobile these days, do have these long-distance relationships, and it strikes me that people in the military deal with this every year, every you know, deployment. They're out there living alone. Is it possible to make it work?
It is possible to make it work. There is good news. Even though you're long distance, even thousands and thousands of miles away, countries away, it's really important to plan on how you're going to be in touch with your loved ones. And there are lots of ways to be able to do that, especially with the internet. And the internet's amazing because we now have ways that we can be in the same room almost with our partner with Skype.
Skype, of course. I use that with my relatives. You could talk to them all the time.
Right, right. Those webcams. I mean, it's this amazing technology for people today to stay in close communication where we didn't have this you know, 5 years ago, it's much more helpful to be able to really connect,
Yeah.
and that's so important.
Back in the day, people were pen pals.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
You write
Sure.
their
And it's fun.
long-handed letters.
It's funny because a lot of people have those mementos from their parents or grandparents, or even way back in generations of the love letters that people wrote to one another, and they're very touching.
Sure.
I wonder if that was if people had longer stick-to-itiveness back in those days.
Sure, that's a good word. It's and today I think that, you know, commitment is so important, and to know what you're getting into, and to continue that. You know, we used the reel-to-reel in making tapes to send them overseas when I was a child to my father in Vietnam, and we wrote letters all the time, back and forth, and of course it took sometimes months to get an answer back, where now it's instant.
like a snap.
It's right there. I mean, couples are playing games online when they're actually in the room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are some of the absolute don'ts if you are living in a long-distance relationship? You want to make it work. You want it to stick together. You want it to stand the test of time.
Wow, what not to do.
Yeah.
Don't
Go out on
communicate.
dates. I can imagine that's
Don't
one
go
of them.
out on dates.
Don't date other people at the same time.
Right. Don't flirt with people in the office. Don't go out drinking, and put yourself in a position where the inhibitions just disappear. And if you don't not talk to your partner, in other words, because when you're far away, you really need the everyday connection. You need to know, you need to be able to see where your partner is and feel where your partner is. So sending pictures back and forth through your mobile phone or Blackberries, you can see where your partner is. So describe the things that you're doing, not just, hi, how's the weather?
Because when it comes down to it, you know, I've been there in the past, it comes down to it in long-distance relationships. To make it work, I think you need to work on it. It's not just, hi, bye. You need to take that time and say, this is what happened to me today. And placing them there, would you say?
Absolutely. And to do that, it's important to be able to plan the time so that you're not on the phone and the TV running, or you're not on the phone in your office and people are talking, or you're not in the restaurant or the bar and something's taken your attention away from your conversation. Your partner will know. And so there are really good questions to ask to be able to know your partner better. And one is, tell me something I don't know about you from 3rd grade, from your first kiss, and then ask them more.
Keep that going.
Keep that going. There are games, there are books full of questions to be able to ask, to get to know your partner better while they're away.
All very good tips. Donna Fortney, we appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.